Hi and welcome. Today we are here with Alema and I'm G from Manuia Life, and we're excited to share with you our knowledge about recruiting.
So right now it's the middle of September. School started. We're going through so many changes, just how school is being administered throughout the country. And so I just wanted to get us to talk a little bit about student athletes and the recruiting process, so we're not losing sight of some of the deadlines or some of the processes you should have in place so that you can get recruited.
Right, most of you know us for our academic processes, but many of you may not be aware that Alema actually has done several years of recruiting with both the University of Utah and BYU. So talk to us, Alema, about the checklist. What are some of the things that parents and kids can prepare for?
You know, throughout the years of recruiting, watching film, evaluating players, there's a few simple things that you can do to really help yourself get recruited. A simple thing that you can do to really help yourself is your Huddle account. So each of you have a Huddle account if you're on the football team, and then you'd be putting out a lot of great film, and that's fantastic. But many recruiting coordinators and coaches complain that they cannot find film on players.
Why is that?
Well, because of contact information being incorrect. Maybe a name is wrong, misspelled.
Okay.
Maybe they have a jersey number that is incorrect. Maybe they have a position that's incorrect. They haven't put in information like height and weight. They haven't put in information like how to contact them. There's no phone number, there's no email, there's no address to receive mailings from a university.
Wow, so they just expect that since they're on Huddle that everything else should be available, but it's not.
Right. There's only a few players that everybody knows about.
Okay.
The rest of you better have an updated
Take a number.
Information. Your name better be right. Jersey number has to be correct. The school has to be correct.
There you go.
Make sure as well that you're putting full game film on there, making that accessible so the coaches can pull up full game film.
So why would you want to run a full game film when you can just highlight, those great plays?
Highlight films are fun and they're great to watch, but they don't tell the full story of what a player can or cannot do. Mm-hmm. Many plays are set up in certain situations where a player needs to react in certain ways, and so we need to see all the plays, and even how a person walks off the field and then takes the field. That's important to a coach. You'll see that all coaches want to see full game film, and then they do want to see the highlight films. That's great. Probably you'll want to do a highlight film probably after the first 3 games.
Okay.
Do a nice highlight film, do another highlight film for the regular season after it's done, and then do a full highlight film after the playoffs are done. That gives them a nice feel for you playing under tough competition when it matters, and then see habits and that type of stuff, and just see where you are as far as your IQ and your abilities and your learning, what it has been in the game of football. So that helps you. So those pieces of film and the contact information, we absolutely can't do the job unless we have that stuff.
Okay, so that's our first thing is Huddle. What would be the second checkoff?
The second step that you can do to really help yourself is to obtain your unofficial transcripts, whether it be a screenshot or a PDF that you download from your school district's or your school's website. Have that handy and ready to share with coaches either via email or text.
Okay, so how big of an impact does your transcript really play in the recruiting process?
One of the first things you do is to, as a recruiting coordinator or someone who is evaluating talent, is to see if someone can even get into the school that you are coaching at. And so if you can't get into school, and we see that transcript, and then we're going to contact you right away and say, sorry, we can't recruit you because you can't get into school. So having that transcript ready, and be proud about your GPA and share that with them if you got a great GPA. But really, it's about opportunity. You get more opportunities, more choices if you're grinding and you can produce a great GPA.
Great. So 2 things. We talked about Huddle, we talked about transcript. What is the next thing on our checklist?
Another very important step is the ACT or SAT scores. These national exams.
The dreaded test.
These scores have a bearing on admissions, on whether we can get you into school. So you'll want to, in your junior year, take that pre-ACT, take that SAT, take both exams several times, or I should say
You mean more than once?
More than one time.
Oh, okay, more than once.
So it gives yourself, so you can take the best score, and that gives yourself a chance to get into more schools. And that's important because you're trying to give yourself more choices, right? And so that's the reason why you would do that, so that you can give yourself more chance to get into other schools.
Great. So we've got the Huddle account, we've got our ACT, SAT, our transcript. What would be the next thing that the kids would want to check off?
The final thing that I want everyone to know about that always trips up many players and coaches and recruiting coordinators, right, is whether or not you've registered for the NCAA Eligibility Center. So that's a task where you would log onto their website, create an account, pay the fee, and then the last step is you would actually have to upload your senior transcripts, after you complete them. So this NC Eligibility Center, everybody knows about it, but you cannot play college football unless you've registered for that NC Eligibility Center. So
why do kids put that off? Why would they put that off?
Well, there's several reasons. We've seen that where they've had trouble with it. It's just one of those things. It's a tedious thing to do as far as logging in, creating an account, and finding your way through it. If you haven't been on the account before or that website before, sometimes it's a little tricky. But really, it's simple. It's creating the account, and then it asks for a fee, and that fee needs to be paid before you can actually attend school. So unless they
attend college, right?
Attend college, right?
Attend
so if you don't
college.
have that fee paid and you haven't registered, then the school can't do anything. So it's better to do it now.
Do it now, especially if you're looking at being recruited.
So it's one less thing to do once you're trying to get into school at the school that's offered you.
Okay, so today we talked about 4 things to help you prepare for that recruiting process. The checklist consists of, number 1, your Huddle account and making sure your contact information is updated and accurate. Number 2, your transcripts, making sure you have those ready for the coaches. Number 3, your ACT or SAT test score, and make sure you take that test more than once. And then last, your NCAA eligibility. Be sure to log in, create your account, and also pay that fee so you're ready to go to college. Alema, thank you so much for sharing that with us. What's one of your best advice you can give to parents in this situation?
I would say do those 4 steps, but also to enjoy the process. You'll be creating relationships with people you wouldn't normally be in contact with, and they're trying to win over your favor and trying to get you to get on their campus. So that's all good and a great opportunity for you. But so enjoy the process, and at the same time, remember, once you've made a friend, you make a friend for life.
Thank you again. If you like what you see and you want to hear more, join us next week when we talk more details of the recruiting process and official visits. Thank you so much for joining us. Manuia.